The upper room. The traditional site of the upper room, in which Jesus celebrated the Last Supper, has experienced numerous cycles of destruction and reconstruction, culminating in the Gothic structure which stands today. Pilgrims who come to the site focus on Jesus' institution of the Eucharist. During this celebration, Jesus washed the feet of his disciples. They were not happy about this. Only a servant in a well-off home would perform such a humble task. Why did Jesus wash the feet of his disciples? He knew that they were competitive for status. James and John had even asked for primary places in the kingdom, causing an argument over ambition with the other disciples. Jesus wanted to graphically show them that discipleship is not about status, but service. He said, "I have come as one who serves." This is an enduringly important lesson in a world where so many people compete for status, for being at the top of the ladder, for being the go-to person. We need always to approach the Eucharist with humility as we repeat the words of the centurion, "Lord, I am not worthy to have you enter under my roof." The background of the Last Supper is the Passover meal, either on the actual day or when lambs were being sacrificed in the temple. The book of Deuteronomy instructed Jews to commemorate the Passover because Moses led them from a life of slavery through the desert and into the promised land. The disciples gradually realized that in the Eucharist, Jesus was leading them from a life of slavery to sin through his passion to eternal life. Over the unleavened bread, Jesus said, "Take and eat. This is my body." Over the cup of wine, he said, "This is my blood." The oldest New Testament account for the ritual of the Eucharist is in the 11th chapter of St. Paul's letter to the Corinthians. The meals which the disciples shared with the Lord after his resurrection opened their minds to the meaning of the Eucharist. It is a meal with the resurrected Lord, in which, under the appearance of bread and wine, Jesus shares his resurrected life with us. The real presence of the risen Lord in the Eucharist does not depend upon our faith. Paul emphasizes the transformed reality of the bread and wine, saying, "Whoever eats the bread or drinks of the cup unworthily will have to answer for the body and blood of the Lord." Sometimes we think as Christians that we are meant to invite Jesus into our lives. The deeper truth is that Jesus invites us into his life. Through the word he preaches, through the resurrected life, which is meant to transform each and every one of us into another Christ upon this earth. That is why St. Paul wrote to the Galatians, "I live, no longer I, but Christ lives in me." In receiving the Eucharist, we are each called to join Jesus in offering our lives to the Father, joining our sacrifice to his, because he shares his inner life with us.
A reading from the Gospel of John. It was just before the Passover festival. Jesus knew that the hour had come for him to leave this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, He loved them to the end. The evening meal was in progress, and the devil had already prompted Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus. Jesus knew that the Father had put all things under his power, and that he had come from God and was returning to God. So he got up from the meal, took off his outer clothing, and wrapped a towel around his waist. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet, drying them with the towel that was wrapped around him. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus replied, "You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand." "No," said Peter, "you shall never wash my feet." Jesus answered, "Unless I wash you, you have no part with me." "Then, Lord," Simon Peter replied, "not just my feet, but my hands and my head as well." Jesus answered, "Those who have had a bath need only to wash their feet. Their whole body is clean. And you are clean, though not every one of you." For he knew who was going to betray him, and that was why he said not every one was clean. When he had finished washing their feet, he put on his clothes and returned to his place. "Do you understand what I have done for you?" he asked them. "You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you should wash one another's feet. I have set you an example that you should do as I have done for you. Very truly, I tell you, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. Now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them."
This week, we offer you a guided meditation by Patty McCulloch from Ave Maria Press. During this experience, you'll have the chance to encounter Jesus as the disciples did at the Last Supper. Let's begin. Relax. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes if you wish. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Be still. Let go of all the distractions. Let your worries fly away. Now imagine you are in a very simple room, sitting at a table with food and friends. Jesus is there. Peter, John, and all the other apostles are there too. You are remembering the Passover together. You are nervous about what will happen to Jesus during this festival. Sit back and look around the table. How does it feel to be among others, feeling these mixed emotions? Notice Jesus getting up. He takes his cloak off and ties a towel around his waist. He fills a bowl with water. He walks over to Peter and kneels down. Watch Peter's face and the interaction between the two of them as Jesus washes Peter's feet. What seems to be happening? What are you hearing? How do you think Peter feels? The next thing you know, Jesus is picking up the bowl. Follow him with your eyes, moving around the table. He is coming towards you. He kneels down, looks into your eyes, reaches for your foot. Spend some time interacting with Jesus while he washes your feet. What do you say to him? What does he say to you? Jesus stands up in front of you. He moves to the person sitting next to you. You are left there, in your seat, with your thoughts from your personal encounter with Jesus. How are you feeling? What word comes to mind? Jesus finishes with the last person at the table. He throws out the water, unties the towel, puts on his cloak, sits down at the table. He takes some time to look around at the expressions of those who are there. What is the mood around you? Jesus looks around for you. He says, "Do you understand what I just did for you? You address me as teacher and Lord, and fittingly enough, for that is what I am. But if I washed your feet, I who am teacher and Lord, then you must wash each other's feet. As I have done, so you must do." Just relax and think about what Jesus' words mean for you. It is time to come back to this space. Continue to be present. Wiggle your fingers. Shrug your shoulders. Open your eyes. Allow yourself time to return slowly. Breathe in. Breathe out.